Alrighty, welcome everyone. Chapter 7, equipment, products, and environment. We're going to learn everything about the equipment that we're going to be using, the product we're going to be using, and how to set up our environment, because all these elements are equally important, okay? But back to like the percentage of people that want to have their own business and how many of them have their own business, or if you don't want to have a full-time job at one place and have multiple things going for you. I'll share with you some numbers right now. So if you want to write them down, go ahead and write them down to give you an idea. So 60% of practitioner are sole practitioner, right? So they're sole proprietor of their business. You have more than 2/3 work part-time. So not all therapists this is their full-time job. It's kind of hard to have massage your full-time job, you know? You have to be like a beast, you know? But anyways, some people have two jobs and they like the two jobs, give them a break from their body. And some people are multi-talented. They can do stuff with their brain and stuff with their body. So again, the massage is the most personal and customizable experience and job. And settings are different. Nothing is really the same. Then there's some practices. Most of people practice in more than one place. 59% of them work either client house, some other businesses, or corporate settings. And you have 36% work out of their office. So 36% like have their own space that people come to them, you know? And then 37% work out of their home. So if you want to work from your home, you're the 37%. And then there's 25% they work in healthcare setting, like clinics and hospitals and stuff. And then 28% work from a spa setting. Okay. So the people that do sole practitioners, they're not the ones that work at the Hand and Stone that work full time there. But you have people that work in Hand and Stone and these corporate places about, from 1 day to 6 days a week. Again, it depends on what your mindset is like and what your personality is like, how much you want to make, what is suited best for you and what's not, honestly. So how many of us here, maybe put in the chat, I guess I can read it. Put in the chat that you want to work in a spa or your own business. Either way, both of them are going to have the same setup. The only difference is when you're at a spa, somebody else is in control. When you have your own, you're the one in control. Okay, undecided. So let's see. Either way, don't decide, but what tickle you fancy, What makes you think, what's appealing to you? So maybe if I give you the cons and pros and all the stuff that's involved in this, you can decide. And massage therapy, you can be like a restaurant or a hotel, or you can have very small ones, boutique like hotel, minimal and simple, or you can have like super fancy 6,000 things, So it depends on what you want. So undecided, my own already, good, your own already, my own, do your own, do your own, do your own. If you're all gonna do your own, it would be even nice if some of you can get together in the first year at least, and this way you can have one space together. That would be the ideal, because all you're gonna end up needing is a room. So if you're gonna end up getting a room, or let's say you got a big spot, 3, 4 rooms, you're going to get other therapists, right? And then you have to manage them and do all that kind of stuff. Or you can find people with the same vision as yours and that can share a space and watch for each other. That would be ideal. Working for others could be minimum responsibility on your end. You could also just kind of go free with it. Kind of see what happens, who you meet, what you like, what you don't like by experience, and then decide and see what life brings at you. Okay, so let's start with the things that we should, that you'll learn in this chapter. So first, we'll list important consideration when preparing a space to do massage. So what is it that we need when we need a massage space? Is it just a table and an empty space, or is it more than that? Then we're going to prepare today a list of supplies and equipment needed for massage therapy. Okay, so let's say you are going to be on the go massage therapist. You're going to make a list for being on the go or like through an app where they get you the service, you go to people's homes. You want to have your own spot, make a list, and let's go with the list and create that list and see how much things cost and how much space they take, and go from there. Three, we're gonna check and adjust lighting for the massage room. What's the importance of lighting? What's best lighting? What to do about lighting? Stuff like that. Ideas about lighting. Um, then the massage table selection. So if you're gonna be on the go, so what best table to choose from? Are you gonna do floor massage or actual table massage? Are you going to massage males or females? Are you going to massage athletes or overweight people, or people that are, require medical massage, or people that just finished weight loss surgery? Are you going to go to their house, or are they going to come to you? You need a wide table, heavy table. It's a lot to it. Are you going to massage prenatal, postnatal? Is that your thing? Prenatal is if you're going to do a lot. There's a special table you can get for them, or a table that accommodates the the structure of the pregnant lady. So there's different stuff there. Then we're gonna introduce you to this must be done in person, the lubrication that we can use, the different type of oils. So tomorrow we're gonna use some oils and see the quality of each oil as we massage, okay? So these are the little things. They sound like they're nothing, but they do make a difference. And again, massage is about experience, just like you go to a restaurant that is moms and pops, or you go to a Michelin restaurant. It's a whole different thing. You can find good food in both, but it's a whole different thing. So how you want your massage experience to be, it depends on you. Okay, so one of the things you want to consider. So you can do one paper for each concept, or you can write a flashcard and write your thoughts on flashcards and see what comes out. Consider your business location. So, are you going to be are you going to be in the front store? Because if you're in the front view, then you don't have to pay much advertising. Going to have a lot. Most likely, you're going to have a lot of walk-ins, so it brings you business. Or you're going to rent a space with somebody in their business, so you're going to be more hidden. Where are you going to be? Are you going to share? It makes a difference, really makes a difference. Considering whether you have your own or you rent from somebody, most important thing is the decor. Yes, you want decor to be professional but comfortable, not too many things happening. Okay, but looks professional. What's there is clean and not dusty, and nothing that would be distracting to the eye. Okay, so cleanliness is very important, but not to the point that it's sterile, that the person feels uncomfortable to put their stuff, or like, oh, this is too clean, like you're in a surgical room. It needs to be cozy. So it has a warmth, coziness, a fresh environment like that. It needs to also be relaxing. So remember, the space is going to be for them and not just for you. So having things that brings good energy that's personal to you is good, but having too many items that you find personal to you, it might be too distracting for them, unless it's a conversation piece where people are like, oh, wow, that's a beautiful way to get that from. Then it could be an icebreaker, but not things that make people feel weird, okay? And start to look around. What is that? So distractions, make sure there's not too many distractions, and any safety hazards, right? Anything blocking the way, having overly big furniture or too many things. Make sure that whatever is in the room is something that is used often and not where you are stacking and storing things like a storage room. Okay, the energy always need to be fresh and clean in the therapy room. But again, not too sterile that you're walking in there, it's cold, you smell like nothing but like almost chemicals and cleanliness to the top. No. Anything they should smell should be aromatherapy. Light should be medium. When the service after, you need to be able to adjust up and down. Yeah. Um, and then in your business, definitely you need to have a separate room for massage. Yes. So the space that you do for massage is just for massage. Or as if it's a dual space that you're using it for your own space and then for massage, you need to, take that time to organize the space, move things around, prepare the space if it's not prepared. Okay, other things to consider. Uh, so your client's perception directly affected by the following: the equipment use, appearance, actions, and of the therapist. So especially when they don't know you first, it's so important. A lot of times you're going to get client just one time and never again. So we want clients to come in and refer and always leave happy and only have good things to say. So equipment used must be at least not broken, not dirty, and like nothing like that. Should be clean, tool, not distracting at all, for nothing. Your appearance should be somewhat clean, um, definitely clean. Now, your fashion of clothing is your fashion of clothing, okay? You can wear whatever you want, especially when you have your own business. But at least make it where it's inviting for the person. Your actions as well make a difference. As when they first know, you're going to see how you speak to them, how you're looking at them, how you're smiling at them, what you ask them, how you make them feel. Because a lot of the times, they're the ones that coming to you, they're excited, whether they are first time or ever, or they're a seasoned client for massage, still. Was they are coming for you with excitement. So make sure that the space is inviting and is receiving this excitement, or receiving the anxiety that they bring in, or the anxiousness if they're kind of not sure what to do. So these sounds a little bit, how you say it, not important, but it's very important, okay? Or like, oh, everybody knows that. Kind of, yeah, everybody knows, but sometimes life happens, things change, and sometimes we're just not paying attention to ourselves, but paying more attention to what we need to do. So self-care is really important and it shows, and especially if you are um, advising the client for self-care, you should also be that thing. Yeah. You should be either always trying to take care of yourselves or find ways to take care of yourselves. So we do what we preach. Okay. Okay. So who is wanting to set up their own space today or make a floor plan like this? I do this sometimes where I bring a, simple floor plan about the changes I want to bring to a space. So this is very simple. You can draw the space, you know, of what you want to see change or how you want to set up your little place. That we could do together if you guys like. But let's walk through what recommendation they have for us. Okay. So we'll do the activities a little bit after lunch. Okay. So infection control and safety is super important, especially if you have people with special needs, elderly, or people with disability, okay? So space and equipment must be clean, must. You're going to check facility and equipment regularly for it to work. If you're doing body contouring, you don't want the machine not to work when you need it. So especially machines, if they don't get used often, sometimes they malfunction. So always make sure that you are checking your equipment if it's not used regularly, that it's working and it's not just collecting dust as well. Okay, that's a good way also to check in with all your equipment, see what you're using now, not using, if you want to upgrade or not. All walkways should be clear always, so try not to put any decorative stuff in walkways and hallways and all that stuff. These are where spaces where people walk. Only thing you can hang in a hallway is going to be on the wall or plant from the ceiling. Okay. Um, Cleanliness is and disinfectant and disinfection is two steps that are required of you, of course. You clean up the space from any dirt and junk and stuff like that, and you clean the surfaces, disinfect the surfaces with a chemical that would be including your table, your chair, your anything that you have touched in the massage with your hands, you will need to wipe, okay? Because you're doing oil and then you're touching, and so you need to disinfect all the cabbies, the chairs, bolsters, anything that you have touched with your hands. Um, and protect clients' health and comfort at all times. So they come to you and you are going to be responsible for them for that hour. So anything that happens in your space, you kind of responsible. or we have some responsibility of some sort. Yes. Okay. So stuff that can go wrong with your factors affecting equipment needs. One, setting of the massage practice. So before we continue, things that are going to affect what kind of equipment you are going to need, okay? Depends on the services you also want to provide. If you want to be a minimalist and just provide sports massage, okay, let's say you don't want to deal with no sheets, you don't want to deal with many types of lubrications, and you don't want to deal with many bolstering issues. You just want to, work the Western modalities. Let's kind of be more general like that. Okay, then that's fine. Then you set up your business for that. So your table needs to be large, for example, because you're going to work with large people. Um, you're going to need whatever cleaning supplies and wipes and stuff for that. And you're pretty much set. That's very minimal. Or you can go the other way, which provide um, a relaxing spa, luxury spa treatment, which can require heating table and a cushion on a table and sheets and a nice blanket, a nice decor thing on the on the table. Maybe you would like put some flowers. It goes on, and then you hot stones and aromatherapy and different kind of oils. So you're going in full blown with all of these things. If you like the spa treatment, and maybe you would like to do the body treatment, so that requires you to. It's similar to the spa, but the atmosphere is totally different. You're gonna need as much equipment as if you're doing like luxury spa treatment. You have your tool for body contouring could be as simple as just with therapy tools, just those, or you can have your whole machine set up for radio frequency and vacuum machine, all that kind of stuff. Um, so you should like what you offer. You should be very happy to offer it, and don't offer it because of the money. I highly recommend you offer things because you love giving them and doing them and make them special. At least part of the things you offer, okay? So again, the types matter, and the types of services offered matter, and the method of conducting consultation, recording, and keeping, and business operation. So this is where we don't think about this part too much. And sometimes it doesn't happen that much. So consultation is really important to get to know the person. So it's before you give them what they want, you need to know what they want. Okay. Sometimes they're not sure about what they want, or they have a lot going on that requires a plan to be put in place, but that requires you inquisiting and acquiring about them and what happened to them and what they like to see happen and what they are able to commit to. Okay, so consultation is important. I recommend you do it on paper because but I recommend you do it on paper with them more than anything. Maybe initially just have them do certain things by themselves. But nobody likes to sit down and just fill paperwork like they're in school or they're going to DMV or filling documents, especially when they're coming to relax. It's like it kind of rubs them the wrong way. So this intake process should be you and them. It's super simple. You just ask the question and da da da. Now, where it's easy, where it's okay to do and give it to them is when you're in a fast-paced environment or there's no space or time to do the consultation on a lengthy consultation. So you want people in that. So that's what I'm trying to say. It depends on the environment. But if they're coming to you, you want to do the consultation. And the first consultation is the longest consultation. Okay, for example, if somebody coming for a spa treatment, they're not going to need so much consultation because they're coming for an experience. If you're going to, if somebody's coming to you, work with a chiropractor or in that kind of a setting, then they're going to come and they are looking to solve a problem. So that's when you sit down with them, explain everything to them. It could take from 30 minutes to a whole hour, just like back and forth and trying to figure out what to do with them and have them sign up to one of your, healing programs or something, whatever you're going to do. But if you work in a spa, you have a thing set up, or if your home spa is just offering services and they pick from the services, you don't have to do much consultation. Consultation should be about indication, contraindication, about contraindication, or anything like that. Or if they came in from a doctor with a note or something that's medical. Okay? So the consultation is really important. Then record keeping. How are you going to keep the records? So first, they're going to do everything in paper until you realize you want something more electronic. But whatever is easier for you is fine. But again, make it simpler for the client. Conversation is best. Record keeping, everything that's entered from the consultation and after, SOAP notes, you can put them here. And any other business operation stuff, purchases, not purchases, how you're going to document your income. That's all another thing. And there's an app actually that does kind of all that stuff for you. I think it's called, I haven't used it yet, but it's called Massage Book. It's pretty popular. Um, so yeah, you can put the documentation, you can do book next appointment, you can do all these kind of. Okay, now in your business, to be considered business, you need to have three areas. Okay, so when you get, let's say, when spas or places get inspected, besides they want to see who's the therapist working, not working with license or not, they're going to check those areas that you have a massage area, okay, and you have a restroom area that's separate. And you have of course, you should have an entrance area. Nobody's going to walk from the street to a massage table, right? So it's going to be an entrance area in your business, or a welcome area and stuff like that. Even if it's in the same space, even if it's in the same square, but your when they're going to come in, they're going to sit down and you're going to take the intake form, right? Or you're going to do it standing and sit on the table. Maybe they're going to walk in through the little entrance and then to the table, and you're going to take the intake there on the table. That's fine. But you're going to need an entrance area. So we call it the business area. Somebody comes in. So you need to have a space where you do also your business stuff, where you're doing your appointments, where you're doing your business work thing. Uh, why you want to have a space? Because there's going to be paperwork, there's going to be things. If you have them all over the place, you only need them when you take them, they're going to be scattered all over. So even if the business area is 2 by 4, 2 feet by 4 feet, like a little counter with a couple of shelves, done. This is where your work, your business work is done, where you welcome people. Then you need to have a massage table where you're doing the massage work. And that could include also the changing room. But you don't have to have a changing room because the massage room is the private room, right? And then a restroom or hydrotherapy if you're offering hydrotherapy services. Okay. And they're usually in the same area because it requires plumbing. So 3 areas: massage, business, and restroom. Equipment and supplies. So we're going to check it with equipment and supplies frequently. Make sure everything is working and up to par. Nothing spoiled, nothing dirty, nothing old, nothing neglected. And you're going to include appropriate furniture and equipment in each area. So if you're going to use hot towels, then you need a hot towel cabbie, right? So if you're going to get a hot towel cabbie, that means you need a little counter space or a cabinet. You need a space to put all the oils, all the small tools, and the linen. And if you have standing machines, you need a place for a standing machine if you have a standing machine. You're going to have at least one chair, right? So you have your stool and the table, and you need to have at least one chair where they can sit when they come into your area, and a space to put their stuff. And the minimal thing you can do is give a basket if you don't have a hook for them to put their clothes on, but at least a basket minimum. And let's say you're in your house, so that stuff you have to put out and in, then store everything in one area. When you have a massage, you bring everything out. Okay? Okay. What equipment can we have? Equipment for massage table. First is your massage table, a must. A massage table or your massage mat. It depends how you're going to go about it. A stool or a fit ball. A fit ball makes you kind of sit more upright, so it's healthier for you as a therapist, kind of get your body more engaged as you do the massage. If you're doing a facial tissue or any tissues, of course, because people are going to cry, they're going to clean their nose, they need to have a box of tissues. Cotton swabs, if you're gonna need, depends on what services you're gonna be doing, right? It requires a little bit, if you're doing, let's say, cupping, so you might need some alcohol, and you're gonna need some cotton as well. You need both. Hand sanitizer is good. Let's say you're working on the feet, you want to sanitize before you touch anything else. Do that. For whatever reason, hand sanitizer. Analgesic oil or gel. So it's kind of an oil helps with pain, or if somebody comes in with a little extra pain, you can give them a little bit of an ointment that helps, just a little extra. Not mandatory, of course. None of these. These are just common things you can have. Bolster and pillows. We're gonna go through also the list that what's her name? Robin sent to us. Okay, awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, awesome. So you can go, let's go through that. I mean, I kind of went over the list in a way the same. So just go through it or write on note. If you need a table, a table. If you're gonna get a fit ball, then a fit ball. If not, you need a stool. Okay? Alcohol you need because you need to sanitize. So you need that for sure. You need tissues for sure. Bolster or pillows, you need at least one. Okay? Sheets. So you need a sheet set, top, bottom, and you can buy in sets, when you buy them in the massage supply stores or online, you can buy a set of seats, fitted, flat, and pillowcase. And towels if you're going to do any hot towels, anything with towels. You need some, if you want to close the eyes, something to wrap the head, if you can do head treatment, if you, I don't know, mini facials. Because as a therapist, you can do mini facials. You know that, right? You can do mini facials,
Yes. Yes.
but not the full-blown facials. So if you want to do some of that, I highly recommend you do some facials. It's nice. Okay. Pillows and bolster covers. I like pillows better. Blanket wraps or robes. So if you have a hydrotherapy area, or if they're gonna go from your area to the bathroom, you can maybe have a robe for them, or they can take the sheet with them. It depends on the setup. Blanket if it gets cold, or to give somebody more privacy. Some people just the sheet makes them feel not cozy enough. Lubricants, oil, cream, powders, or any ointment you want to use. So maybe check on that and see which ones. I will recommend a few things. It depends on your questions. And you have indirect light. Yeah, so it's kind of a mellow light in the room because you don't want it pitch dark or fully bright, shock somebody. So you need to have a variety of lighting. Either you have adjustable light or you have the main light and then you have a couple of lamps to the side. Dressing area, private with hangers, mirrors, and wraps. Ideally, it's nice to have that. People like to hang their clothes, somewhere to sit, somewhere to check their face when they're done with the massage, and all that stuff. A desk, table, and a chair. Seems like a lot of things. But if you have your own space, you're gonna need them. Okay, client intake form. So how you're gonna take the intake and how you're gonna write the soap notes. So if you're gonna do soap notes, um, it's good to do soap notes with the clients. Why? Makes you ask how the massage went, any improvement. And then if you document improvement or no improvement, it's kind of good. You see the progression that's happening in the therapy. That's one reason. Second reason is sometimes people they're delayed in how they feel about things. So sometimes, they haven't processed the massage yet. The massage is still taking its effect, and they also have forgotten how their complaint that they came with is doing. So they have come in for a pain, and then it's actually not there anymore, but they can't remember to tell you. But they feel great. Oh, I feel good. How is the pain? It's gone. So you can write that whatever techniques you did took care of the pain, how they're feeling, good, all kind of stuff. You're checking it, and you can write that on the soap notes. Okay, device to play music and select music. Of course, your phone is not loud enough. You need something that's more pleasant for the ears. A clock to keep time. A table warmer because everybody is going through different changes in their body. Not everybody is healthy in normal temperature. Some things happen, and some people feel cold. And the last thing people want to receive massage and they're feeling cold. It's like that's the worst. Or feeling overheated that like this is too hot. They want to get out of the table. Okay. So temperature is very important to them. When you're working, see, on the other hand, you're going to be kind of exerting effort. So the room is warmer, more warmer to you than to them, which that's why I recommend you breathe, you move it slow, drink water, and don't overwork yourself. And covered waste basket for throwing garbage or anything like that. Okay, more equipment needed. Desk and chairs if you want to have an area for people to rest. A dedicated business phone number. You can use your own if you want to start, but it depends how professional you want to go about this. Okay, if you want to have the same or not. Place to keep your appointment book. You can use your calendar, you can use an app, or you can use an old-fashioned book and pen. Reference books. These are good, like from the material you learn from school, the ones that you feel like more relevant and you need to get back to it. So you'll have some of those reference books to check anything you want to know more about. Or depending on the types of clients that come in your way, you want to learn a little bit more and be ready. Secure filing cabinet for all the records of your clients, first aid kit, and supplies, office supplies, okay? Other stuff, you have liquid soap and a pump. You need to wash your hands, you must have that. Disposable paper towels for them to wash, to dry their hands. You can't put just what do you call that? A towel, unless you have individual little towels that you put in a basket, then they can use those, yeah? A clean bath towel for each client if you're doing any hydrotherapy stuff. Robe and wrap if you're doing anything going from one space to another. And same thing, if you're doing hydrotherapy, you're going to put shampoo, soap for them to kind of get cleaned up from the water, or cryotherapy, and disposable water cup. Okay, hydrotherapy equipment and related supplies. So hydrotherapy, that could include a hot tub or it could be a cryo tub. Okay, so where they get in and it's like cold water. So towel ropes, cleaning and disinfectant supply. You're getting into the pool area here. So, it's not very hard to maintain, but you need a professional person to keep checking on those things, by the way. But again, if you're working with athletes and you want to, and it's beneficial for you as a person, I would highly recommend you do this. So here's an idea of how that's gonna look. We're almost done here, and I'll have you take your lunch. Okay, so this is your massage table. So ideally, they want you to have a space of, let's see, dressing area with a screen, optional, yes? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna go from here to here naked. So a place where they can put their stuff. A chair and a table, so this could be for your consultation. And the supplies that you have on top and underneath. You can also put supplies underneath the table too, sometimes. You might have cabinets here to put storage room, but the idea is you need ample room all around. You got place for supplies, place for consultation, all that stuff. Or maybe you have all the stuff outside. It depends. Okay, let's talk about temperature. Ideal temperature is between 72 to 75. Anything below that could be too cold. Anything over that could be a little stuffy. I usually put it in 73s, but the ideal, if it's cold, and it depends on the fan direction and the strength of the fan for that room. Have blanking or heated devices available, so a heating blanket underneath or an actual blanket. Use air conditioning or fans during hot, humid weathers to keep, the temperature proper. And proper ventilation is super important. You can't be in a room that has no ventilation. Okay, it's built up too much. You gotta have ventilation. I was in a room with no ventilation before they put ventilation. It gets really stuffy very quick. And you want fresh air all the time. Lighting, indirect light, so something soft could be on top of the shelf. Nothing will hit the eye or reflect directly to the client's eyes, okay? Dimmer would be best. And avoid overhead lighting so it doesn't hit them in the eye directly. Music can add another dimension for relaxation, of course. So some clients prefer absolute, very quiet. So the music, yes, you should enjoy the music for sure. Music can create a whole different atmosphere, just like lighting. But make sure that you are also it should be very appealing for the clients. So anytime that a client gives you a really comment about the music, put a star on that playlist, and then and see. It can change the feel um, of the massage. It could also change how they feel, makes them open up a little bit more, enjoy it more. It makes you probably also go slower too, because we're not sure we're gonna ride the music, okay? Um, do not match rhythm of massage movements to your music tempo. Only this is fun as we are doing body contouring massage or doing something that's uplifting massage. Yeah, we're doing something more not sedative, it's the opposite. Yeah, something that's stimulation. Something that you could do a little bit with music for fun, but you have to go with the feel of the tissue at the end of the day, um, and go from there. So this is a fine line right here, but I can show you some fun things we can do. Okay, let's move on to the table. Table must be stable, firm, and comfortable. Very important. You'd be surprised how many people fall off a massage table. It's crazy, especially when you're a business owner. Yeah, I was working for this lady. Oh my God. So what happened is she had a facial table, the one that opens and closes like this. So it's adjustable, the top, but it can go all the way down too. And I told her we need a massage table, and it doesn't have a hole either. And I had a pregnant lady, very sweet lady, very, thank goodness she was very sweet. She fell 3 times from the thing. This thing kept collapsing, kept collapsing. I know. I put myself in situation to work with. She was a young business owner, so she was a young girl, but a disaster. Not good. And you got to be careful also as how you guide people to flip over. You have some people that are very large. As they flip over, and if your table is not wide enough, they can flip with the whole table. It happened. So it's important that you find something that's sturdy, firm, comfortable. Most tables can handle up to 500 or 600 pounds. So good tables. Okay, maybe stationary or portable. Stationary is going to be the most sturdy, of course. Okay, the portable ones is the ones that you want to worry about stability. And yeah, for example, the portable one, the stationary ones, you can step anywhere on the table. Where the portable one, there's a weak point, which is the center, and you can't have like direct pressure in the center of the table. It's designed to have pressure all over it or on the edges. So you be careful with that. Okay, ideal height depends on the type of massage, height and preference of the practitioner, size of client. So tomorrow we're gonna go through all of that too. We're gonna measure the room, we're gonna measure the table, and we're gonna measure our height to our table to find the ideal height for us. All that stuff. Okay, so let's see, look at this picture right here. Massage table height. Stand erect, meaning tall, just normal, no bending knees, no squatting, but relaxed, and measure from floor to palm. So tomorrow we're gonna just set up, measure palm or to the wrist, let's say, like from here to here, we're gonna measure, okay, and see what the height for you is. Technically, if you see, it's gonna be right where her pubic symphysis is, about that range. When you add a body, maybe a little higher, then the massage is going to come from the center. Yes? So massage should not come from the upper body. And I see a lot of you do that, which is normal. This is how we learn first. We see the eyes, we see the hands moving. But this is secondary, the hands. You got to move that center. It has to go back and forth, and then the arms follow through. Otherwise, your massage is going to end up going faster than it needs to, and you're going to exhaust your upper body. So we're going to figure this exact height, and you're going to start working with this height. Most ideal, not too high, not too low. Too low, you got to come down your body. You got to use your whole body. Too high, then it becomes very easy, meaning very easy on your body, which I understand why we put the table high, but the table should be here. Okay, alternate method, place palm flat on the table, should be able to hold arms straight at the sides. So you can go from the tip of the fingers to the wrist with the height of the table, that range, that range. Because a lot of the things that people complain about is two things. Is like the pressure is not being there, okay? And the massage being too fast, the speed. Okay. So these are the things that people um so if it's too fast, then they don't find it relaxing enough. And if it's not deep enough, then they are not feeling much. So standard table width is between 28 to 29. That's pretty much similar to what we have. Same thing with the length. It's about 76 inches. Portable tables can go from 68 to 72. With that, of course, the headrest. The headrest gives you more space. Padding should be firm, high density foam, ideal, or good cushion. And if you don't have one with good cushion, you can just simplify by a Tempur-Pedic foam and put it on top and be perfect. It should be vinyl, so it can be wipeable, okay? If it's fabric, then it's gonna soak in the sweat, it's gonna soak in the lubricants, so it's gonna have not a good smell. So you need something wipeable. Okay, design consideration accessories. Some table fold up or completely fold down like this, and this is more like a stationary table. This one, headpiece cradle, elevates cervical to alleviate cervical strain, sure, but it also like it's for the estheticians or would use this kind of a table more. We highly lift people up like that unless they have a hard time breathing or have other condition happening. To make breathing better for them, we can elevate them like this. Um, yeah, and it's more sturdy and all that. Side extensions, sometimes these are the two paddings they have on this, they have like paddings to extend the side for the arms. One for that. Usually comes for these portable tables. Okay, factors when considering a table. First, legs need to be adjustable. That's number one. Okay. Dimensions wide enough and tall enough for you. If you're a big person and can, you know, then the height and the width wouldn't be a problem as somebody that is shorter. For me, I'm short. If I extend my arm and hold the table like a suitcase, I probably need to lift my shoulder up a little bit. And my table is very narrow too. It's ideal for body contouring. So the practitioner can stay closer to the body and not overextend. But it's not very comfortable for actually relaxing massage. I have to put a bunch of paddings and make it wider. And it's good for stretching, so like that. What else? Face rest. That you can find really good face rest and really not very good face rests. That's really important because it has to do with the neck. And the neck needs to be comfortable. The face needs to be comfortable, especially if the person is being down. So I would um, put some effort in putting in buying the padding or making your own padding for the face, the cradle, and make sure you have like good face covers too, because the face and the skin is sensitive, yeah. Um, and we don't want to squash somebody's face or scratch them or anything like that. Okay, vinyl covering, that's for the table, easy setup and take down. So some that you can take up and you can close, stability and durability. And again, you might not worry too much about the durability because you bought a cheap table, but it's good frame to it. Why not? Look for the maximum weight. Some can go 300, some can go to 600, 500, depends. Okay, I don't think you commonly will get somebody more than 300 pounds. They won't be able to get on the table. So I wouldn't
Oh
even put
wait,
them on the table. I put them on the floor better.
not for me.
Do floor massage for them, okay? Or a very low table and kind of like a tie table or something. You need a carrying case, and they usually a good table comes with good warranty, but unless you're buying a table like super expensive. Most people gonna buy one between two, 300, 600 is a good one. Yeah, it's one of those, but they're heavy. They tend to be heavy because the wood is good and everything good, but
Yes.
they're not very good with transportation.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
transportation.
Okay. We have bolsters and we have pillows next. You need those for comfort of the client. So it depends on which population you're also working with, right? If you're working with people that are special or aging or pregnant or whatever it is, they're going to need some extra bolstering. Also, if your treatment is assessing, it needs to be lay in a certain position to alleviate the stress so you can be able to make the client comfortable. All these items you see here are ways to bolster. You can have double pillows. You can even have foam shape cushions for something more sturdy than a pillow or a bolster or a towel. Tomorrow we can show you some bolstering technique and not techniques, but yeah, few like ways to kind of how to use the towels to get the client more comfortable in their position and allow you to work with them better. Um, we'll do that tomorrow as well. Okay, massage linens. You have clean linens must be used for every client. So this is important here. Every client gets their own sheets. We don't do like sheets and flip them over and use for the next person. Okay. There's all these popular fabrics, like cotton. Cotton blends are very popular. Bamboo blends are not bad either. Flannel can be a little bit on the hot, but I wouldn't not use any polyester. Okay, don't use any polyester or anything like that. Okay, white, light pastel. They tolerate bleach for the sake of what do you call it? Um, Disinfecting. The darker ones, they fade and they show a stain. And if you drop a drop of bleach, you kind of ruin the look of the dark ones. Okay, so light ones are better, but you can use whatever you like, right? Whatever makes you feel, whatever the feel of your massage requires, do that. And replace stained because nobody wants to see a stain on their sheets, right? Make it's distracting. Or any threadbare linens, anything like that. Just fix it or replace it. Okay, massage oil. Tomorrow we're gonna have a different types of oils we're gonna work with, and we're gonna see how the glide work with each one and see which one is your favorites. Okay. Um, Fresh vegetable oils are nice. You can use sunflower. You can use, you know, can't think of any vegetable oil that I have used. Sunflower is pretty good. Easy on the skin. Doesn't have great lots of benefits, but it has some. The feel of it is pretty light. I would put a little bit of aromatherapy in it though to make it feel good. Other oils that are really nice is olive oil is one of the best ones because of its thickness, its glide, and its benefits. Coconut is also good. It's not for everyone, but it tends to glide and slide more than the vegetable or like the olive oil. Olive oil tend to get absorbed more, so it's kind of nice. The coconut oil, think of it, it's more of a protective layer, so it stays there for longer. So it's nice for cupping, for example. It's nice for things that you want the oil to kind of stay on the surface longer before it gets absorbed. And it has a little bit lighter feel. Okay, so massage lotion, they are more limited, so glide and absorption into the skin. But elderly and dry skin, they prefer lotion over oil on their skin because lotion gets absorbed into their tissue better than oil. Oil sometimes sits, it takes a while for it to be absorbed. Sometimes lotion is in. And some lotions have different way of melting to the skin. Some of them kind of thick, then they go into being a little watery at the end. It's not that it's bad, it's just the texture kind of changed. So it gives you a different kind of glide. Um, uh, some of them are very thick and pasty, so they give you a good drag for deep tissue. So you have a good hold on the skin. All that, it depends on the techniques that we're using and how much friction we're looking for or how much glide we're looking for. So that's what makes a difference with the oils, okay? Cream, they're less oily and they're more expensive, like deep tissue cream, for example, but you don't use too much of it as well. Where we're doing spa massages or hot stone massage, we use a lot more oil to glide and to do all that kind of stuff, and Swedish oil. If you want to buy in large quantities, you can buy from like Massage Store or Amazon.com or whatever you buy your stuff. Buy in big batches, it's easier, or you can make your own oil blends, okay? Because some of the oils that you buy, you have to look for the ingredients and how they make it. So don't buy just any brand because it's cheap or good price. You need to see what's the ingredients in it. And sometimes it might be easier for you to go to the grocery store, buy a bunch of oils, mix them together with some aromatherapy, and make your own blend. But
I
if
have a
that
question
seems
on oils, if you
yeah,
don't mind.
yeah, go ahead.
So I do make my own oils, but I hadn't thought of olive oil, and I've been making infused oils for a while. Um, have you experienced it with olive oils opposed to the MCT coconut?
MCT coconut, I never put it on the skin. I usually put it in smoothies, but the
Mhm.
regular coconut oil, yeah, I've used both, and we're gonna do that actually tomorrow.
Okay.
We're gonna use
And
also
you think olive
castor
oil is
oil.
better than the,
Hmm?
sorry, do you think the olive oil would be better than,
Yeah,
I use the MCT for the massage oil because I feel like Glide is better and it doesn't clump up on me like the regular coconut. But I hadn't thought about olive, and so I'm wondering which one do you feel glides easier? I know the olive oil would absorb faster, but I was just
I like the glide of the olive oil. I don't like the coconut too much.
okay. I'm gonna do one with olive and test it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. But coconut has its benefits too, and maybe
Yeah.
sometimes mixing both together. So tomorrow we'll try. Everybody will make their own little blend and see how it feels and smells and all that good stuff. So you buy in large, you transfer in small quantities. You can use essential oils to add. I will bring some more extra. We only have few at the spa, but I'll buy some more. Um, and there's in the massage supply stores, they do like really cool combinations. Tiny bit more expensive, but if you don't care, buy them and see how you like them. And store them, of course, in a dry place or kind of not too hot place. And try not to contaminate things. Yes, if you put a spoon in something, don't put it in another. And don't put your hand in the big container. That's a very big no-no, okay? Like everything needs to be super clean. Okay, batch testing just in case if you want to find out if somebody has a allergic to something. Okay. Um, So this is kind of how you can go about it. You can wash first their inner part of their elbow because it's thin skin right there, and you can rinse the area. Then you apply a little bit of product, wait about 15 to 30 minutes, and if you see any redness, any pimples, any reactions, you don't use it. Then your product is safe. But also stay on the safe side. Don't use anything that has nut in it, okay? Because it's more common you find people that have nut allergies. So anything hypoallergenic product, use. You can. There's a lot of really nice products pre-done for you. You don't have to do. I just like to make everything myself. So, and I like to use just simple, keep it simple, okay? But there's beautiful products out there. Of course, these products need to be tested and all that, okay? We're gonna do that tomorrow. Alrighty, that concludes it. It's a kind of a little bit of just one info after the other. But what we're gonna do tomorrow is implement all of these things, from oil to measuring tables to all of that.